Welcome to Nonprofit Network, powered by Stokes Auction Group. And here it is, we're celebrating 2023.
And 30 years of business.
Years.
Stokes Auction Group, 30 years this year.
30 years this year.
30 years is right. It's been quite the run.
Wow.
It has been. And I'm Shelby Stokes.
I am Kelly Schenfeld.
Holly Schenfeld here. I am part of the 20-year group.
Yes, indeed.
Big day, big day.
Big
20
day.
years.
Big day, 20 years.
This year.
Jeez, is that right?
This
That's
is your
correct.
20th?
Wow.
Wow.
As an auctioneer.
As an auctioneer.
Yeah, as an auctioneer.
Well,
It
we
goes
are here.
way back. beyond.
Way back.
We're going back, way
yeah.
back. So, I mean, it's the end of the year. We got our party hats on. We're celebrating 2023, and this year our organization turns 30. We have been in business for 30 years, as previously mentioned, and this business really started with just a couple of guys that could do a bidda auction chance, and they wanted to help the community. And in helping the community, the demand grew, and thus came a business model.
Right, and they actually went up and down the I-5 corridor, and so a lot of driving together, a lot of BSing together, and they would do school auctions and stuff like that, which we still do, and that's exciting. But then they came up with this brainstorm. Now, just so that all of you know, we are going to have Mark Schenfeld and Jeff Stokes on our podcast. I haven't gotten that locked in yet, but I am just confirming that they have both agreed. I haven't talked to them about it yet, but they have both agreed to come on our podcast and start this whole 30-year thing.
And you can do a Barbara Walters style interview.
Oh my God. Yes! Yes!
How about that?
Yes!
I love that your tactic is forgiveness over permission. Right?
It is forgiveness over permission because that's how those guys taught me. So, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission on some things, and this is one of them. So we're going to have those two guys that started this 30 years ago talk about their idea, their love for one another, but then, some things have changed. Shelby Stokes is now a partner of Stokes Auction Group for 2, 3...
I don't know, some amount of time.
But the right guy. The
Yeah.
right guy. The future of Stokes Auction Group right there.
Well, I mean, let's less about the future and more about the past, right? I mean, 30 years is a huge celebration, and
Huge.
I think that when this concept of this business model started, there was no such thing as a fundraising auctioneer. That was not an option for an auctioneer. At that point, the auto auctions were in their
Yep.
full stride, arguably at their best.
Yep.
If you really want to have that
Cattle
conversation.
auctions.
Cattle auctions were big. General
Estate
auctions
sales.
were big. Estates. That's right. So, I mean, it really was a niche of the auction business that was small and really not even mentionable. I remember when I went to auction college, I'll never forget this, I raised my hand and I asked a very charity-specific question. And the instructor said, that's not a real type of auction.
Is that right?
Yeah, and you...
Ding, ding,
yeah.
ding, 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 ding,
Wow.
ding, 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 ding.
And you look at the makeup of the industry now, and it's very heavily nonprofits. For those that are still calling auctions, the majority of, not majority, a big portion of the auction community is dedicating themselves to this nonprofit line of work, which is great.
It is great because it's an important line of work. And there are not two better partners than Mark Schenfeld and Jeff Stokes. But together, they created something quite beautiful. And he's now a partner. And you've been doing it for 20 plus years, I've been doing it for 20 years, But you know what? We've been doing this a long time. Put your hat
Yeah.
back on. We're still celebrating.
hurts
Oh,
my
it's hurt
neck.
your chin. Okay.
But we got these cool not thermoses.
These
There
are canteens.
Canteens.
To celebrate the 30 years for our little
That's
family.
right.
So
Now, the difference between a canteen and a thermos is this will never have water in it.
Must be this little handle right here.
So we're giving ourselves a little bit of an attaboy. We
Yeah.
kind of put together a new-ish logo. That's 30 years. Big thank you to Kaylee for helping dream
Yes.
this thing up. And, it's just really amazing to look back at some of these nonprofits, whether they be a school or a church, to look back in our database and see a 25-year, sometimes 30-year history with some of these clients. And you can look through those records and you can see the good years and the bad years and how in the beginning you only had a couple of items.
Right.
And then, oh, hey, let's try to sell dinner with the principal. And then that started a whole new tradition. And
Yep.
now it's been 20 plus years since that started. So it's really something that I appreciate taking a look at, and I'm very grateful to be able to do what we do.
Yeah, and I think that what we're gonna try and do is I'm obligating us to something real quick.
Please.
We're,
Us, as in me and you?
yeah, and
Us
him
as
too,
in-
but.
us as in
Us
you.
as in all of us. We're gonna try and get a picture on our podcast. You know, we usually used to talk about our weeks and stuff like that at the very beginning of our podcast, and we're still gonna do that, but we're also gonna try and get some old school pictures tossed up once a week, or once a week. And we'll put up an old picture, so you might see pictures of people that you know when they were, 24, and you'll go, oh my God, he has hair. And so, so we're going to try and do some of that for you. We might miss a week or two, but we want to make sure that we lift Stokes Auction Group up as much as it deserves the lift. They don't lift themselves up, so.
Or, back in the day, before our charity auction company was created, so often these auctioneers were expected to be volunteers,
Yeah.
right? And
Here's your
we
free hot
took
dog.
that craft and turned it into more than just a volunteer craft. That's what Mark and Jeff did, and I'm curious to hear their take on the genesis of where and how this started. But I think that you put a lot more importance into the auctioneer when they are focused on charities only. And I think that's really was a big part of the transformation from what I remember when I was 6, 7, 8 years old
Yeah.
Yeah.
when this all started.
Yeah, it's neat, and we're going to get them on here to talk about it, and we'll ask some questions. So if you guys have any questions that you want us to ask, the goal is to do it probably right around February.
Sure.
We're going to shoot for that.
February is a month.
February is a month, if we can't get it done before that, but,
So stay plugged in. I know
Stay
that,
plugged in.
we worked so hard to get through the holidays, now we're in the new year, and we're looking at the schedule and the pipeline, and we'll definitely get something assembled for you with the founders. But, we wouldn't be able to do what we do without you. And the individuals that are, behind the scenes, working in the community meetings, having those conversations about what color the tablecloth is, all the way up to what your grandiose idea is and what you want to do. Like, that is really the reason we're able to do what we do.
and they created a model that every single organization is important to every single auctioneer, ringman, back of the house person. The model that they created was give every organization equal energy, regardless of the size. And that is what we do.
Very good point.
And it is what they believe in, and they have done very well at that. And him, I mean, there's no better kid in the world to step into those fellas' shoes. So I'm just thrilled to be a
Here.
part of it. And 30 years, woo!
Hey, 30 years.
30 years. So
right.
stay tuned. Come back, see some old pictures. It's going to be cool.
Here's to 30 more.
Here's to 30
30
more.
more. Imagine that.
Yeah.
We're
30
doing this when
more.
we're celebrating 60.
60th.
You know, we could even do maybe a little thing about who is this?
Be doing bid calls on
Yes.
a hoverboard here in 30 years.
Oh, I won't be here.
Oh, you probably will. You
84.
probably will.
I'll be in 30 years. I'll be like 70.
I mean, should I not laugh at that?
No, it was good that you didn't. Polly and I can, but you
Oh,
can't.
oh.
30
Okay.
years, I won't even be young as 70.
30
See
years,
what I
huh?
did there?
I did. That was very good.
30 years, huh? Well, cool. Well, thanks for being with us. We appreciate you. Happy New Year. If you're enjoying your new year, get on it, because it's a new year, new you. Thanks for being with us, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for celebrating 30 years with us. We appreciate all of you.
Congratulations, Mark and Jeff. 30 years. What a test of time the two of you archaic beauties are. Love you.
To the archaic beauties, cheers.
Cheers.